Okay, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm not 100% sure what I will be able to see whilst I'm sharing my screen, but I'll stop every now and again just to go back into the chat and have a look for any questions. I'll just put this into slide mode and then get started. So yes, hello, welcome everyone. Thanks for giving your time today to come and learn more about the launch of our new space competition, our new target intervention program, which we're tying into to our annual STEM Fest event in the Northeast this year. So my name's Josh Minto. If you've met me before, which I know some of you will have, then you'll know who I am. If not, I am the Education Relationships Manager at RTC North. We have several contracts in the Northeast, Yorkshire and Humber, all STEM skills related. I've just got someone else joining. So we facilitate a program called the STEM Ambassador Program, which is all about getting people from industry into schools to deliver and support activities. And then kind of aside, we're not contracted to run the STEM Fest. It's just something that we do because we really believe in it. But basically, STEM Fest is an opportunity for people to, well, for students to go out there and meet up to 50 businesses or just over 50 businesses and have a go at some hands-on engaging activities with each of those businesses. And a lot of your local big STEM employers. So it's a really feel-good event. It's taking place at the Beacon of Light this year on the 8th, 9th and 10th of October. But the target intervention competition will be taking place on the 8th of October. So, okay, so just an introduction into the program and kind of the objectives of what we would like to so what we would like to get out of the program is we would like the students to foster an interest in STEM. So they might not be familiar with with the STEM subjects. Oh, pardon me. Okay, so yeah, they might not be aware of what STEM subjects are. Obviously, primary school, I'd imagine that you do some STEM stuff at school, but really we're trying to foster an interest in STEM and make it feel like it's, a real possibility that they can work in STEM when they're older. I think people hear the word space and think, oh, that's amazing, but, that's for other amazing people to do. And I think they don't realize the emerging space sector, especially in the Northeast, it's a real opportunity for them to, work in something that's really exciting. So, yeah, we're delighted to be doing it on a space theme. We'd also like to encourage teamwork and collaborative problem solving. That's essentially what the competition, I'll touch on what the competition is very soon, but essentially that's what we want, is for them to work collaboratively to solve a problem. And if they can enhance their knowledge about space and related sciences along the way, obviously that's great. And also develop innovative thinking. I think, to be honest, students in primary school are often a lot more creative than adults because they're not kind of influenced. They don't have like prior influence that might make them think that something's not achievable. So, so I think it's a really good age group to be doing this kind of competition with, and I think they'll probably do really well. So the competition is split into 3 main kind of judging areas, but essentially the main kind of overriding theme is that they need to research a specific problem that someone in the space industry might face. So a couple of examples here: astronauts dealing with microgravity, and engineers developing sustainable habitats on Mars. So by all means, get on the internet, have a look, see what kind of things people would struggle with in space, or they can come up with their own idea. It doesn't have to be the most complicated scientific program. It could literally be something as simple as astronauts are up on the space station for months at a time. Do they feel lonely? Do they get bored? Come up with an innovative solution to that problem. So they'll basically work as a team to research a problem, find something out that that someone who works in the space industry might face, and then they've got to come up with an innovative solution to that problem. So then once they've got their solution, we'd like them to build a model of it. This can be made out of anything. I'll touch on this because I'll cover each 3 segments of the competition in a bit more detail. But there are certain materials, like toxic materials, that we would expect them not to use. But again, I'll describe that in a bit more detail later on. So they'll build a model of the innovative solution and then also prepare a poster, which they will use to give a 5-minute presentation to a panel of judges. So yeah, I'll touch on the 3 different areas now. So the poster that they should create, this should show evidence of their research. So, you know, maybe some kind of references to websites they've looked at and where they've found maybe an article or something where someone says there's a problem in the space industry at the moment. They can use that as their evidence of their research. If they want to show progress of how they built their model design, then they can use pictures to show that progress, and then include examples of how they worked well as a team. It would be really nice if at different stages through the competition, they could talk about, you know, working with each other and how much they enjoyed it. That kind of stuff will sit well with the judges. Explain why their solution would benefit the space industry. So they don't need to be given a really detailed explanation of the science behind what they're doing, but if they could just have if they could show that they have an understanding of, you know, what this project that they've worked on and this solution that they've come up with, then that's good enough to me. Don't worry about how realistic it is per se. I'll be telling the judges not to focus too much on that. If they want to really think out the box and go for something really creative, then that's absolutely fine. So they should be able to basically explain their solution and also describe the model that they've made and how it's a representation of that solution. And then presentation. So for the presentation, you will be given a time slot on the day to go and present to a panel of judges. We're asking for a 5-minute presentation. So, and they're going to use their poster to present. So on their poster, they'll have the information that we've just discussed. And then basically that's their opportunity to talk to the judges, to talk them through their poster, to talk them through the project, and so on. So they should be able to explain the research that they've conducted, to find the problem, again, using the evidence on the poster, explain why their solution would benefit the space industry. And if they want to have fun with it, I would encourage that. If they want to do a space rap or a space dance, whatever that might be, we would encourage the kids to have fun with it. That's what the competition's all about. It's about getting people enthused in space. So for me, you know, if they want to have a bit of fun with it and be creative with their presentation, then that's absolutely fine. There will be a couple of minutes at the end of the presentation. Some of the judges might have some questions. So so again, just to be prepared to answer any of those judges' questions. And then the model design. So we're looking for students to use some creativity to build a model that represents their solution. So if their solution isn't something that's necessarily tangible, if they could just kind of, you know, make something that would represent it and explain. If they can explain that to the judges, then that's all that matters. But the model must be safe, non-toxic, and easy to transport. It'll have to be carried into the venue on the day, carried up to the room where they give the presentation. So it's basically important to make sure that it's not something that is going to drop apart every time they pick it up. So that's just something to think about. And then again, this element of the competition, they should be able to explain how their model works, how it represents the solution, and explain the process of how they made it. That would be really cool as well. And then the team will explain, so they'll do their presentation in the room. There'll be 2 minutes of questions and answers from the judges, and then the judges will ask some questions about the model as part of the Q&A, and give the students a chance to explain how they made the model, how the model works, and how it represents their solution, something like that. Okay, I'm going to show one more slide, and then I'm going to have a break and just check the chat for any questions. So our judges will be scoring the team based on the following criteria. So across all of those three components, the poster, the presentation, and the model design, there's kind of four key themes that the judges are going to be looking at when they're scoring the teams. And those four categories will be originality and creativity. So something that's kind of really original idea and something that's, again, it's not about being realistic, it's about being creative and maybe explaining why something that sounds ridiculous could actually work really well. Quality of communication and understanding. So it's not about giving the best presentation in the world. It's about just being able to understand what they're talking about. That is what we mean by quality of communication. We really want to have the kids get lots out of this project. So by them kind of being able to communicate what they've learned, that would obviously kind of be evidence of that. So that's why that's included in the judging criteria. Really important, teamwork and collaboration. It's important to make sure that the team have worked together. They've, been on a journey through the project together and have enjoyed that process. So again, judges will be looking out to see how the students kind of behave around each other and so on. And then the model design will get scored kind of separately on its own. So they'll have a look at the design and they'll, mark it again for like creativity, how well they were able to describe it and so on. But there will be individual scoring for the model. Right, I'm going to take a break now and stop sharing just to check if there's anything in the chat. So what size can the poster be? It can be any size you want, but I guess the consideration would be that they're going to have to hold it in front of the judges. So as long as they can hold it in it, maybe like, something that two people can hold either side. It's big enough so that the judges can maybe make out some of the photographs, but if there's text on there, that's fine. If they were feeling really brave, they could give the poster to the judges and just do the presentation themselves. But basically, whatever works for them, and whatever you think is best, I'm happy with that. And how many students in a team? I'm gonna touch on that a little bit later. So yeah, I'll kind of explain that when we get to that. Will there be access to the slides that you are sharing with us now? Yeah, I can send the slides out, no problem. And then the recording for this video will get saved and I'll send that out. Well, it'll get uploaded to our YouTube channel and that link will get sent out either tonight or tomorrow, I'd imagine. Right, I don't see any more questions, so I'll dive back in. Okay. So, what support will your school receive? This is important. We don't want to just dump a project on your school and say, go on, then there you go. It's important, obviously, that both yourselves as teachers and the students get support on this journey. So in order to do so, we are going to match each school with a local STEM ambassador. So I'm in the process now of recruiting all the STEM ambassadors. We've got quite a few signed up, and I'm going to work out the geography so that kind of the STEM ambassador is as local to the school as possible, because they're volunteers. They are not getting paid to do this. They are volunteering their time to come and meet your students and support them on this project. So so I want to have someone who's quite close to your school, so they're not doing loads of traveling. So I'll be doing that over the summer holidays. The STEM ambassadors will be assigned to your school on the first week of the new academic year. So in September, when you come back to school after the summer holidays, you'll be introduced via email to your STEM ambassador, and then it will be up to yourselves then to arrange for them to come to the school. The STEM ambassadors will be briefed over the summer that it is a requirement for this competition for them to have at least 2 face-to-face meetings with the team to support the project. So, yeah, we want at least the STEM ambassador to come to your school and meet the students and give them some support, at least 2 times. And then if they want to go over and beyond that and you want to arrange that between yourselves, that's absolutely fine. If they want to do 2 face-to-face sessions and then drop in once a week for a quick 15-minute catch-up over Teams or Zoom or whatever, then again, that's entirely up to yourself. And then again, in the run up to STEM Fest, obviously the students are going to be presenting something, and I understand how, when you present to a group of judges, that can be daunting. So we're going to invite all the teams to join some science communication training with a guy called Dallas Campbell. Dallas has been a TV presenter for a number of years, worked on shows such as The Sky at Night, The Gadget Show, The Bangos, The Theory. If you go on Dallas's website, you'll see there's lists and lists of different TV shows, documentaries, kind of science documentaries that he's done. So, he's a great person to have to come and talk to the students about how they can enthusiastically talk about science to a group of judges. So we'll do a virtual session with Dallas, and we'll invite you to have all your students there, asking them some questions and stuff like that. So that'll be really fun. That date is to be confirmed. It'll depend on when Dallas is available and when is best for all of you. Again, if there are circumstances where you can't make that, we will record the session and share that on YouTube. But it's obviously very kind of Dallas to offer to do that. And yeah, okay, so we'll touch more on the logistics kind of side of things now. So we would expect the teams to arrive at the Beacon of Light between 9:30 and 10 a.m. on Tuesday, the 8th of October. Chances are, well, the judging session is going to take place between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. So you're kind of probably wondering what are the students going to be doing between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. The STEM Fest exhibition will be open. We would like the students to take an opportunity to go into the exhibition and meet some of the businesses. So when you are choosing students to come and take part in the program, and you've got other students booked to come and do STEM Fest, if it's the same kids, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't impact anything on our end. But if you wanted to bring some students who weren't coming originally to do the competition, then obviously you would be more than welcome to do that, and they'd be more than welcome. We've set some slots aside in the exhibition for the targeted intervention students to go around and speak to the businesses. Judging will take place between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. Each school will be given a 10-minute slot to do their presentation and talk to the judges about their model. Then we'll have some time for judges to deliberate, and then at 2:30 p.m. We'll try and get that done as early as possible, because I understand you need to get back to school. We'll announce the winners of the competition. We might be able to get, if we can get the, if it's going to be a problem at 2:30, we could maybe look at bringing the judging forward to maybe 12:30 till 1:30, get the announcement at 2 o'clock, and then people have time to go back. Be interesting to get some feedback on that if you think 2:30 is too late. There is wiggle room, obviously, at this stage to be able to change that. So obviously, I've just mentioned there'll be winners. So just to kind of quickly describe what the different awards are going to be on the day. So there's going to be 4 awards given out. The first award is the Pupils' Choice Award. So your students will be voting for their favourite design. So when you come in at 9:30 in the morning, you'll set up your poster and your model design on a table that's allocated to you. It gives a chance for the students to have a look at what the other teams have been doing, maybe speak to some of the other students, and then at the kind of end of the day, they'll get a chance, while the judges are deliberating, they'll get a chance to vote themselves for which team they thought was the best. So each team will get 1 vote between them, and obviously can't vote for yourself. Then we'll have an overall first, second, and third place, which will be decided by the judges. There will be cash prizes for each of the awards. I'm not going to say what they are for now, because it'll all depend on budget and stuff. We've just done a target intervention space competition in a slightly different format in Yorkshire. That was, I think, £100 for third place, 150 for second, and £250 for first place. So I'd imagine it'll be something similar. But yeah, I'll confirm those details once they're confirmed. And then all participating students will receive a certificate to say they've taken part in the project. and obviously they can take that home with them. So a few rules just to consider. So we're looking at the kind of numbers of students now. So we're encouraging schools not to bring any more than 15 students per team on the day. However, if you want to run this project in a class at school, we're more than happy for other students to be involved back at school. So if a full class of 30 wanted to work on the project together, they can do the science communication training with Dallas. They can help to build the model, but we won't have the space to have that many students there. So we're looking at no more than 15 students per team on the day. So yeah, if you could stick to that, that would be great. If more students are taking part, if you've got a whole year group taking part, trying to, represent the school and all working together, by all means, do that. Please let us know how many students are taking part, because we would love to know. I'd imagine at some point before STEMfest, before the 8th of October, I'll be in touch just to ask how many students have kind of been involved in working on the project. When the team have their presentation slot, teachers can be in the room with them, but we ask you kindly for you not to contribute towards their presentation. We want the kids to have the opportunity to explain what they've learned during the process. If the students are having a meltdown and having a real struggle, we totally understand. Obviously, you might have to kind of step in and save the day a little bit. But this is about what the kids have done and what the kids have achieved in the project. So if they can be the ones in the room who are talking to the judges, that would be great. Students must behave respectfully towards other team members and exhibitors. I think that just kind of goes without saying, and I'm sure you'll all be on top of that on the day when it comes to behaviour. And whether the students are setting up at the table or walking around the STEMfest exhibition or going to do their presentations, we'll just remind you that students must be accompanied, students must be accompanied by a staff member from your school at all times. Okay, so just a kind of recommended schedule based on when you get back. I think is it week commencing the 2nd of September to when you actually taking part in the competition on the 8th of October. So there's 6 weeks. A recommended sort of schedule would be to spend maybe the first 2 weeks doing some research into a problem, identifying the problem. Say once you're into the 2nd week, you could also start to look at the solution and come up with your solution as well. And then once you're into week 3 and 4, that is when the kind of time scale you'd be looking to develop the innovative solution and start creating the model. And then once you're into kind of week 5 and 6, that should say finalize the model, prepare the poster, and then practice the presentations so they're all ready to go on the 8th of October. So that's a kind of just a recommended time schedule, but you can run it yourself. That's just a guideline if you wanted something to follow. I will amend the slides before I send them out. So that says to prepare the poster. So you're not thinking you have to do a written report. Don't worry. If teams want to start before the summer, they are welcome. Obviously, they won't be able to do that with the STEM ambassador because we won't have allocated them to the teams then. But if they wanted to start early and have a look into maybe identifying a problem so that part's all done before they go back in September, that's entirely up to you. But yeah, if they want to start before the summer, they are welcome. I do think there is enough time between September and October for them to get through everything though, as well, with the support of the ambassador who will be perfect to help with the kind of research and identifying a problem and coming up with an innovative solution as well. A really quick one just on health and safety. We'll just be using the kind of following the procedures from the kind of STEMfest exhibition anyway. We'll have St. John's ambulance there, as we always do. So if anyone has any first aid or medical emergencies, we can radio for them to come and deal with the student. If there are any serious medical conditions that we should know about maybe before the event, that's maybe something where they might need a room to do some sort of medical procedure. Just let us know and we can make those arrangements. Yeah, if you could let us know in advance. Like I said, students are pretty much going to be there all day. So if they could bring their own packed lunch, and that would be great. We do operate a no nuts policy. obviously one of the most common allergies. So we just ask for students to make sure they don't have anything with nuts in their packed lunch. And again, just a reminder for students to be supervised by a teacher at all times. I think this is the last slide. There will be photographers on site and film crew on the 8th of October. So I'd imagine at some point they're going to come over to the competition and take some videos and some pictures. If there are any students who can't have their photo taken, we'd still want them to come. But if they could please if you could just let us know so we can issue a red lanyard, and our photographers and our videographers will be briefed not to include anyone with a red lanyard in any videos or photos that are taken. Photos from the event may be used by third-party organisations. It's more than likely just going to be used by us to promote, future competitions and so on. To assist with the identification, we would ask for the teams to wear their school uniform, or if they, want to have some sort of T-shirt with the team name on or something, then they're more than welcome to do something like that. But it's just something so that we can identify them in the exhibition as being from that school. So by all means, at all times during this kind of process, if you could use social media to kind of show the progress of the team, take some photos of them working on building the models, stuff like that. Tag us in it at RTC STEM. We can retweet them. We'd love to see how the teams are getting on throughout the process. So please do bear that in mind. Any sort of coverage on social medias would be greatly appreciated. So I think, thank you very much. If you do have any questions, again, this is going to be on the YouTube channel if you want to watch it back. In the meantime, contact me or STEM at RTC North is our kind of generic inbox. And we're looking forward to welcoming you in October. I'll hang around for a couple of minutes just to answer any questions that have gone in the chat and any further questions anyone might have. And then I'll stop the recording. So let me just check the chat. So 12:30 would be a better start time. You'll need to leave by 2:15. That's fine. You're about an hour away as well. Okay. Right. I'll have a look at that then, and it may be that we just move it back to 12:30 and try and get you on the bus back to school no later than 2:15. So leave that with me. We can change that. That's easy done. That feedback's useful. I'll just hang on for a minute in case there's any more questions. But I hope the students love it. I hope they have a great time. It's really fun to be kind of starting a new kind of string to our STEMfest bow. So thanks everyone for the time for coming down. And if there's no more questions, then I'll get in touch in September, hopefully with a STEM ambassador and lots of information. Great, thank you very much. Bye everyone.